PPP corruption goes back even to the first PPP government after 1953. Between 1957 and 1964, the Del Conte Road, the amount of people got rich. Corruption is endemic in the PPP. It is interwoven into the fabric. Then we had them coming back into power in 1992. We exposed the corruption. They cannot say street protests didn't occur there. I was one of the leaders in the street protests. Street protests occur, the corruption continues. I do not believe it is the inaction of the PNC that emboldened the PPP. It's the inaction of all the people of Guyana, including PPP supporters. You see, if you are not a nation, if you are not building a nation, and you have a political system that says if it's me own, they could do it. If it's not me own, they can't. Then that culture allows for corruption of me own. And the protection of the corrupt by me own. Guyana's problems are deeper. We have failed to develop a political culture in which we see a public service as an independent political entity that is serving the people of Guyana. And I'm not here alone blaming the PPP. In some regards, some of it happened under us. The politicization of the public service removed that professional independent group and turned them either into political actors or passive participators. That has affected us terribly. The next thing that affects us terribly is the political control and domination of the Guyana police force. Why you believe, with all the evidence that emerged against Jack Deo in the Sioux Gate, the police refused to act? The compromising of the police over the years would have resulted in a situation where the main law enforcement agency has become a tool at the government. Then your judicial system that is supposed to be independent and your attorney general be independent, you have an attorney general that is fighting for power and therefore operates based on political options, and your judiciary finds itself in that position. Unless there is, I should make one other point. In the 60s and 70s, you had political education on both sides. And so people had a certain level of education, political education. That has been removed. The only people who are politically educated right now are the people who go after political education and understanding politics. A large percentage of the people are not involved in the political process. They have been demobilized politically. Our task is to remobilize them. And you will only be able to deal with corruption when you remobilize them so that you restore independent institutions that can act against the excessive of government. And then you have an international community that is very selective. I mean, I came up against the US ambassador and actually asked her if she no longer believes in the rule of law, if corruption is okay. Because here is it. We know that countries pursue their interests. And unless our people understand that all countries pursue their interests, and in certain issues they have no interest, then we'll be in problems. we also have got to mobilize international support, cognizant of the fact that there are going to be times when the people you expect support from wouldn't support you because it doesn't serve their interests. Let us not live in a ivory tower. There were times when the international community supports corruption because it suits them. There are times when they supported international human rights violation because it suits them. And therefore, as we look at this issue, we have to look at it raising political consciousness so that our people understand our people understand when our interest is in conflict with the international body and how we pursue it, noting the power of the international community. And so it is not like if the world responds to principle. If the world responded to principle, corruption would not be there. The world responds to its interests. And there are times when corruption suits their interests. There are times when human rights violation suit their interests. And so they wouldn't be on the side of the people. It is only a politically conscious society that will be able to navigate these treacherous waters we find ourselves in. Look, it is easy to make pronouncements, but pronouncements that are made without careful analysis are just that. There were many who were saying, oh, Muhammad can take the fight to them. So I find it fascinating that now you're saying he ain't got fight, but he got money. Garbage. To fight, you need a moral commitment. To fight, you have to have little or no skeletons in your closet. To fight, you have to have a commitment to people. I now come to do a little bit here and there. I mean, it is one of the most flawed arguments. You are accused of depriving this country of billions of dollars that can impact the lives of the people of this country. But someone come to tell me you build a $5 million house there, you buy a car, etc. Let me say it here and now. I believe the opposition needs to work together, but not by burying our heads in the sand. Mohammed's interest here is to ensure that he isn't extradited. We don't have an interest in that. We have an interest in promoting the development of the people of Guyana. And where we believe that that is being promoted, we will. But we will not be part of a personal fight to protect somebody who allegedly robbed this country of resources. And may I say this in keeping with what I said before? I do not believe the United States government wants Azruddin for any goal or anything like that in Guyana. There are other things that they are interested in. Let us not forget that some of the indictments are disclosed, some aren't disclosed. Probably the undisclosed might be more important than the disclosed. And so I am clear in my mind that to carry a fight politically, money is necessary. But you have to have a commitment to people and you have to have strategies for the development of Guyana. You can't just come, look, all the things Mohammed are exposing, we exposed before. Ganesh Maipal went to virtually all the water pumps. I went with him and exposed what was happening. We showed that we exposed the fact that the money we pay per kilometer road is way above everybody else in the world. But the reality is you have to do more things And there are always going to be people. I see Mohammed and the government as the same. They give a pittance to the people and keep the hawk for themselves. And so while I appreciate some people getting help, I am very clear in my mind that the focus here is not on making the Guyanese society get a better life. It is doing the things that will allow you to protect your interests. And therefore, in many regards, the approach of win, and I don't even like saying win because it's the Mohammed's more than win, is one in which there is self-protection and the people happen to get some crumbs in the process of self-protection. Our struggle has to be a wider struggle for the people of Guyana to benefit rather than for a few people to be benefiting from what falls from the table of the wealthy and believe that is enough to take a nation forward. What takes a nation forward is when the overall society is benefiting. Like when we put NIS in place, people of all political ethnic groups continue to benefit. When we put free education in place, people of all walks of life begin to benefit. And you cannot see politics as something just benefiting a few people who want a small piece. We have oil wealth, and it must meet the people and be distributed in such a way that it meets the people. And if we are talking about corruption, we have to oppose corruption regardless of who is the corrupt. I hope I answered everything. When the elections were over, it is we who engaged Win. And the message we got from the inception was that really we prepared to deal with you. Only as they start to recognize that they can't do it alone, that they start going in the direction. Now, you started not by calling for the removal of the chairman of the Elections Commission. You called for the removal of the opposition members at the time. Knowing, well, I don't know if he knew, but you should have known that it is a permanent commission in law, and only through negotiations it can be dealt with. That's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make about this entire thing is that unity of the opposition for the sake of unity cannot be an end in itself. I believe in coalition politics. I believe we need to develop a coalition that has an interest in the people of Guyana and is going to develop a platform to put people first and ensure that Guyana can progress. But I'm not prepared to be part of a self-centered, self-serving approach that looks after the interests of individuals when it suits them and abandon the people of Guyana. Now, if that is the case, we can sit down and discuss a platform on which we will oppose the government and move forward. But it cannot be the selective engagement on things that suit you. You want to talk about replacing the commissioners. To what end? We have to work out the end. You want to talk about who you change and who you don't change. If it is not guided by a clear political platform, what is going to be the role of farmers? What is going to be the role of workers? If you believe taking its approach of having the money to pay for the trade unions, Congress, or any trade union body to hold a rally, and then you're placed prominent, that cannot serve the wider interests. And the world is filled with so many people who will do anything for filthy lucre. But in the end, you will not achieve the task of removing the PPP from government. I am committed to doing that, and I will discuss that with people who want to put the Guyanese people first. I said it before, I am not prepared for our political party to be used as an instrument of anybody fighting uh, a case overseas. I'm not prepared to do that. Those people who break the law, perform ills, and that will go for everybody. And anyone who wants to talk about unity of the opposition, I'm well prepared to be in a united opposition that pursue the interests of the people of Ghana and removing the PPP rather than being part of a self-serving process that will end up abandoning the people of Guyana. Many of you said, oh, there was going to be fierce opposition. Still waiting on it. Many of you said, this is the man. I'm still waiting to hear what is the philosophy that we are supporting, what is his approach to the oil and gas sector, what is the approach to our national and natural resources. Those are the critical issues. To tell me about unity just as a word. Unity comes when there is unity of purpose.
Thank you,